friends, and welcome back to the beautiful world of Kingdom Come Deliverance. Today I'm here with a little something different. I'm going to be talking about performance today and basically about how I got my game to perform a little better. If you don't know, patch 1.4 just came out and there are a lot of additional tweaks and bug fixes, and on top of all that, there are some new visual stuff. So there's an HD texture pack, high definition texture pack, and a high definition audio patch or whatever. There's also enhanced voiceovers, and generally this makes performance worse. I'm going to be talking about some ways that you can improve performance, whether or not you're using the HD texture pack, and also I'm going to go over a mod that might help you even farther improve your performance. It did for me, but keep in mind if you decide to use the mod that you will be also deciding not to use the HD texture pack. So let's talk about performance in Kingdom Come Deliverance. This has been a problem for me ever since the beginning. The first thing I want to talk about is how my performance has gone downhill in the game since the first significant patch that came out, the one before 1.4, whatever that one was, that added some fixes to the game. I mean, my performance never was great, but I never had like horrible stutters or freezes or anything like that. I just have had pretty significantly low FPS unless I'm out in the middle of nowhere. If I'm out in a field or something with no buildings around and no people, then I get almost 60 frames a second, and I'm running on medium to low, somewhere in between there. Now the game still looks fine. I'm not too picky about graphics, really, but I can't really run it on any higher than medium settings. Now, however, since the patch before 1.4, I started getting some more graphical issues, like you can see, I don't know if you guys can see it on the video over there, but some objects appear transparent, and rather than looking like an object, they just look like a bunch of dots until I get very close to them. And like those pillows right there are having the effect right now, and the shadows on the tents are a lot worse than they used to be. I can fix this by increasing the graphic settings, but then of course I get horrible frame rate. I'm currently at the area in the game where I get the worst performance, which is the army camp outside Merhoyed. And I know that this was the worst place for me also in the beta, so it's consistent through, like, you know, a build 2 years ago to now. Something about this area, it's not even a big camp. Like, I get better frame rate in any of the cities. In Sasau, which is huge, in Talmberg, everywhere else is a lot higher. Here I get in the teens. And so this is the area that I'm going to be using for doing a couple tests here graphically, because normally I get maybe 45 to 50 FPS when I'm out in the wilderness fighting, and 30 to 40 while I'm in towns. But this place in particular, I get, you know, very, very bad. Right now it's 20. If I do, you know, bump up the graphics at all, it can be in the teens. So, and also it depends what's going on. If anything's going on here, if I'm trying to fight or whatever, then it goes down. So it's a pretty significantly low frame rate. Now I have a 980 GTX graphics card. I have a Ryzen 1700 CPU, 16 gigs of RAM. My video card has 4 gigs of memory. And so I have a pretty decent gaming PC. So the first thing that I am kind of sad about in the patch is that there's just basically no way that I can ever use the HD textures. There is an option in settings now, after I applied all the updates and got the DLCs for the HD texture packs and audio packs. There's now an HD textures on and off. Unfortunately, even if I wanted to only use the HD textures and not change any of my other settings, the game forces all of your other settings to be set to high if you choose the HD texture pack. So, if I go ahead and apply that and let it go, I now have, now it's at 15 frames a second, and it has changed everything to high. It didn't turn VSync back on though, which is good. It didn't change the anti-aliasing, but it did change everything else to high, and it put motion blur back on. So with the HD textures turned on and everything else changed to medium, changed back down to medium, because when you set, if you turn this on, it automatically puts all of your other settings to high. So I changed everything back down to medium. I think I had maybe shaders and shadows, oops, on low. Maybe had that on low too. I don't really remember, but regardless, the frame rate's a lot less. So, you know, 14, 15 with the HD textures on. And Pebbles, do you look any cooler? Okay, let's go elsewhere. I'm still getting the weird dotty textures. I don't know what that is. It's very obnoxious though. Okay, I'm gonna run out of town a little bit. Come on, Pebbles. Oh! So I do notice it looks really nice. It doesn't look that much better, at least Pebbles textures. This saddle was already very nice looking. In fact, I should share with you guys something that might help some people. When I loaded up the game initially, the game auto-downloaded a 20-something gigabyte patch for 1.4, so I automatically assumed that it had already installed all the textures and the audio files and everything. But I actually had to do another step in Steam to get things to work. I did not have this automatically, and I did not have the DLC in my Steam game installed. Nothing was there, so I actually had to go into Steam. I'll show you guys really quick. Right, so I didn't have this, or this. All I had was Treasures of the Past. After it auto-installed the 22 gigabytes, I had to actually go to the store page for Kingdom Come Deliverance and go here, like to the list of DLC, and install them and add them individually. So I had to click here, and then I had to click download for each and every one of them in order for them to appear in my list of DLC in my game. So at first I was really confused why I didn't have any of the DLC, even though it had already downloaded everything. So if you're having that problem, maybe check that. I think that might be a Steam issue. I'm not really sure, but if restarting Steam doesn't work, then you might have to manually click download on all of these in order for it to add them even into your game. So having said that, once that happened, I did test on and off with the settings and using the HD textures and everything, and I just don't think it's worth it, you know? Unfortunately, like the road looks really nice. Pebbles looks very nice. I'm sure you guys can't see that much, but look how adorable. God, he's so cute. You know, the saddle's beautiful. His hair. Come here, Pebbles. Face the sunlight. There you go. Okay. I mean, it looks like I can reach out and just pet him, because the hair looks so realistic. It's kind of insane. And that's really cool. But I don't know, is it worth the frame rate hit? If any of you have a computer that can handle going to the camp in Mirrorhoyed, having the HD textures on and having medium settings or above, and you can have a stable frame rate of above 30 frames per second, please comment below. Like, what graphics card do you have? I mean, it's not that I care too much about having perfect performance in this game, but the game is so gorgeous. It's so gorgeous, and it deserves these HD textures. But I'm just sad that I can't justify using them because it's just too much of a performance hit for me, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. The game itself, even without the HD textures, is it's very performance heavy. Like, ever since I've played this, since the beginning, I've been running on medium to low settings, and I've never had 60 frames a second, I don't think, ever, unless I'm in a menu screen or something, or if I'm sleeping, you know, and there's nothing on my screen except the clock, then I have 60 frames a second. But and if you're wondering, but your videos are 60 frames a second on YouTube, so you must have 60 frames a second. But that's not how it works. I can render videos in 60 frames a second, but that doesn't mean that the game itself is always running in 60 frames a second. It's usually between 40 and 50, unless I'm in towns, like I said, and then it's like 30. But I've been lucky enough to not have stutters and crashes very often, and freezes or anything like that. So, you know, it's just been lower FPS, and my graphics card is always working at 100% capacity when I play this game, which is a little worrisome, but you know, it's something to remember, to pay attention to. And if I have the HD texture pack installed, then it's also using all of my video RAM, which could potentially cause some issues. So, well, it's so beautiful, and Pebbles is so realistic right now, I could just cry. Yeah, man, it's just a bummer. It's just a bummer. Like, I wish I could afford to upgrade my PC so I could just enjoy this game in all of its glory. It's so gorgeous. Now that I've complained to you all about how the game is very performance heavy, oh god, it's so beautiful, and gushed about how lovely it is, I want to thank the developers for, you know, patching the game and adding things and continuing to make the game awesome and fix everything. And I really do believe that even though the game is rough around the edges, it's still very early, and I hope that you guys remain optimistic about it. And, you know, later on down the road, this game is going to be just, everything about it is going to be so fantastic. And not only the game itself, but we're going to have so many cool mods for us to, you know, shape the game in whatever way we want. And there'll be fixes basically for whatever you want, I'm sure. So I'm not worried at all. I'm just, you know, it's my first playthrough, and I'm just kind of bummed that I can't use the texture pack. The other thing I'm bummed about in patch 1.4 is that the the bathhouse shaving and haircut mechanic doesn't seem to work at all. I go there to get one. And I know I'm not the only person, because I looked on the Steam forums. It seems like a lot of people are having this issue. So I think it might just be broken, where you go and you ask for a haircut, and then Henry just stares blankly into the void and nothing happens, and then the game just locks up. And it doesn't freeze, but you're stuck without any options, and nothing happens, and you don't get a haircut. I can't get a haircut. It just... Why? Why? If anyone has got that to work and knows how to fix it, please comment below, because I really want to be able to get a haircut, man. It's so sad. Anyway. There is another thing that I want to talk about, and I'm actually going to show you guys a mod that I installed, and it did help me with performance. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it installed or not, but it seems to be safe to install and uninstall. But one thing to note is it does change. It allows you to access more settings in the advanced graphics settings, but it doesn't allow you to turn the HD textures on and off. So if you're going to use this mod, just make sure you've already decided that you don't want to use the HD textures. Like, if you're going to try this mod, then you're one of those people that just wants performance to be better, and you're not worried about having the HD texture mod. So this is, I think, a thing that I'm going to try using, and see how it goes, because I've already installed it and uninstalled it, and it hasn't ruined my game or anything, so I don't think it's dangerous, hopefully. It's just a mod that tweaks settings and adds some more options in the menu for performance reasons. So, okay, so the mod that I am talking about and recommending if you're having performance issues and you don't want to use the HD texture pack, you just want your performance to be improved, you're sick of the low frame rate like me, and whatever else. This is a mod that I have installed and tried out that actually does help a lot. with my performance. So I recommend it. I know there's a couple other ones on the Nexus that do the same sort of thing, but this is the only one that I found that actually adds like menu options, so you don't have to actually tweak a CFG file or anything like that. So it's very easy to install. Once you get the file, just open it and oh god, just open it and extract everything into your Kingdom Come Deliverance folder. It doesn't have very many files, and it also, the mod maker has also added a uninstaller. So if you decide you don't want it and you want to try using the HD texture pack again, all you have to do is run a batch file and it will delete all of the files from the mod. So thank you, mod maker, for doing that. See what's this guy's name? Avni, thank you. Thank you for this mod. I actually really do like it. I'm not going to try and mod my game much, but I think this is a pretty good one. Okay, so then we boot up the game, and we should have some new options in our menu. Okay, so first thing, when you're trying to run the game for performance, the first thing that you want to make sure you're doing is running in full screen. Full screen has a lot better performance generally than borderless or windowed mode. So another thing to make sure is that your Vsync is off. And if you're noticing screen tearing, just enable it in your graphics card settings rather than in the game, because it performs a lot better that way. So I'm going to set it to full screen, and then I will show you guys the mod in action. So what the mod does is adds a lot of different options in the advanced setting here. And there are even descriptions at the bottom that explain everything. So SMAA, less blurry, but leaves a lot of anti-aliasing. It adds FXAA. This is not in the game originally, so it's cool that it added that in as well. It looks a lot worse than SMAA or any of the ones after SMAA, but it performs the best. So you can go through these and pick whichever one you want. I like SMAA the best. 3-point lighting is recommended on, so I'm going to leave that on. Motion blur definitely off. Recommended off. Winds on grass. Drunk sharpening, I guess off. Depth of fields is fine. Global illumination, I'm going to leave all this on low. Now, ambient occlusion is an interesting one because it says if it's on, the strength of the effect has no impact on performance, but I found that to not be true. I found it, if I had it on light, it was a few frames a second, but if I put it on very strong, it definitely was like 5 frames worse at least. So keep that in mind. Maybe it's different for everyone's machine, but I'm gonna leave it on like medium, I think, because it does make a difference in how things look. Textures I'm gonna leave on low for now. It's really cool how the mod maker added down here how many gigs of memory or a VRAM it requires. There's also an ugly setting. So if you have a really low performing PC, or if you have a graphics card with only 1 or 2 gigs of RAM, you could use the ugly setting or the low setting, which doesn't exist normally. I think probably low is the least the original game has. And these are all changed, so that's pretty nice, I think. I appreciate that a lot. I'm going to leave this on medium. Optimized. Volumetric fog is a new setting as well, and this is a huge performance hog, so definitely leave that off if you're having performance issues. I didn't notice the game looking any worse, so I'm going to apply that, and we're going to go into the game and run around and see the frame rate difference. Now remember, if you're using this mod, you do not have the option of turning on the HD textures right now. Hopefully the mod maker will tweak it to add that back in, but what the mod does is changes these menus, and so that option for the HD textures does not exist when the mod's installed. So just keep that in mind. But for the purpose of this, the point is to get good performance. And unfortunately, that means to not use the HD texture pack. So maybe in future it will work that way, but unfortunately not right now. Okay, so let's load the game at the Mayor Hoyed camp again and see. We'll do some comparisons. Okay. 33. Oh god. Okay. It looks about the same as it did, but the frame rate's a lot higher. If I move around, it's still it's 25, I suppose. So maybe it's not that amazing, but it's definitely improved. Definitely improved. And I could even tweak this more. I could change some of this stuff to whatever I want. I could try changing textures back to low, ambient occlusion to light. See what that does. Yeah, now we're up to 30, so that's a lot better. What I recommend doing, though, to get the best look and performance is check out the presets that the mod maker has created. So he still left in all the vanilla presets, vanilla ultra, vanilla high, and medium and low. And then he made his own with his settings. So there's ugly, low, medium, and high. I am going to try medium. These aren't the same settings as vanilla. They're different. So, you know, keep that in mind. They're going to generally perform better than the vanilla settings did. Okay. So this one is still a little bit lower. Let's try low. Ultra, high, medium, low. Okay. I want to make sure that... motion blur is off. Yeah, it is. Okay. Ooh, it's got that. Okay. I could probably tweak that because I know I don't need 2TXSS at all. Okay, let's wait for the game to catch up. That's a teeny bit better. Yeah, this is probably what I would roll with. This looks pretty good. I know that I don't need... Oops. I know that I don't need this high, so I could definitely turn that down. I actually prefer it, in fact, because the higher that is, the more blurry it gets, and I actually don't like the way that looks. I like the sharper look around the foliage a bit better for some reason. Another option that you have, by the way, for anti-aliasing, I hope I'm saying that word right, anti-aliasing, I'm not quite sure how to say it, but you can also tell your graphics card to do that as well and see if you get better performance that way through the NVIDIA control panel or through your AMD software. I forgot the name of that software, but I have an NVIDIA card, so you can definitely try that and see if you get better performance, or you could have it off as well. But I can tell right now that the game looks better on this low setting than it did on the vanilla low setting. So I will probably... Actually, that tree looks kind of funky. Let me see if I can fix that. Let's try one more up. Depth of field. Is it that? Okay, it was the lighting, the light bouncing thing. Okay. So, here we go. There you go. Okay. There we go. I fixed that. So, you know, just mess around with it and see what you can get. I like this performance a lot better than... Like, I was getting... Yeah, this is already 50 out here. I was like 10 below this before. So, it's nice. You know, do what you gotta do for performance. Thank you to this mod maker who created this. I appreciate it. I do. It's nice to have it in the menu when you don't know how to tweak, you know, the CFG files or whatever to, you know, fix your own performance. That should be darker though. Am I still on full screen? Okay, I am. Good. So yeah, that's that. Hopefully that helped you guys. Just remember to turn Vsync off in the game and mess around with anti-aliasing settings in your video card if that helps you. And if you don't want to use this mod, then just I recommend just not using the HD texture pack for now until things get optimized a bit more. And again, if you're able to do all of this and more with your computer. If you're able to use medium settings and use the HD textures, please let me know what your specs are. I'm really curious because my computer usually, you know, is pretty decent at doing games, and you know, it's just this game. This game is very difficult for me to get a high frame rate. But that's really it. I just wanted to talk to you guys quick about performance, and hopefully some of you guys are having better luck than I am. I appreciate the patches that they're coming out with. There's a couple new things, additional things in the patch that I thought were kind of cool too. The Easter egg hunt thing, which I might do another video on. I'm not sure what that is, but I assume that it's to do with nests. Because what else other than nests before? I mean, I haven't found anything good in a nest, so I assume that there's going to be an Easter egg hunt in the nest, which I think is going to be pretty cool. So I might investigate that. Also, I wanted to check out the barbershop thing in this video and change my hairdo, but that wasn't not to be. Yeah, we still get really pretty sun glares and stuff, so that's good. Our rays of light, beauteous sun rays, and yeah. I am satisfied with this performance. I'm very sad that I can't check out the HD texture pack in all its glory, but the game is gorgeous even on low settings, which I think is really great. By the way, the low settings in this mod still has all this grass and everything in it, and it still looks fantastic for, you know, at a distance. Let's go over here, I'll show you. Where in the vanilla low settings, it's all reduced and it looks like poo. It literally just looks like poo. So, it's very nice. You can see there. It looks fine. Like, I can't really even tell the difference from when I had it on medium settings before I had the mod. So, to me, it looks great. So yeah, check it out if you're having performance issues. I would say this mod at least gave me maybe 10 frames everywhere, at the very least. So I appreciate it a lot. Yes, I do. If you have any more performance tweaks that you want to share, put them in the comments below. And it's something that worked for you, other than what I have mentioned, I would appreciate that, and I'm sure other people would like to know as well. Other than that, I will leave you guys to it. I hope you guys are still enjoying my Let's Play series. If you haven't checked it out yet, there'll be a link below to that, with our quest for Henry and Pebbles. We are, you know, making our way through the main quest, and soon it's going to be exciting. Exciting times. I look forward to finishing the game. Although I know I have a very long ways to go, but now that I have better performance, it should be more enjoyable, I think. I hope, anyway. But I'm Lady Lilia. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you guys soon for another video. And if there's anything else you'd like me to cover in the game or any questions that you have about anything, let me know and I'll try to answer them below, or I'll make another video about it. Thank you, friends. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.